to Behind the Badge. I'm your host, Chief David Molloy, Director of Public Safety for the City of Novi. And I'm joined by two of our assets from the Novi Police Department, Sergeant Kevin Rhea and Crime Analyst Jason Porter. Welcome to Behind the Badge, gentlemen.
Thank you, Chief.
Sergeant, why don't you start out by telling us a little bit about your background, your education, and your current assignment with the organization?
Sure. I've been with the Novi Police Department for 20 years. I just celebrated my 20th anniversary. I have had the great experience to start my career in our communications section and then work my way through different assets or different portions of the police department, be it the patrol division, our investigation section, and then in 2006 was promoted to sergeant in the patrol division. Just recently took over the position as training and standards sergeant, and my responsibilities include managing the record section as well as the crime analysis section, which Jason's a part of. I have a bachelor's science degree in criminal justice from Ferris State University. I have a master's degree in public administration from Eastern Michigan University, and I'm a graduate of the Eastern Michigan University School of Police Staff and Command in 2009.
Outstanding. That's excellent. And Jason, one of our newer additions to the Novi Police Department, tell us a little bit about your background in education.
In 2011, I got my Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice. In 2012, I got my Master's of Science in Criminal Justice. And then just recently, in March of 2013, I had the fortunate opportunity to obtain a crime analyst position here with the City of Novi.
Tell us a little bit about what you do on any given day and some of the products that you're putting out for our men and women.
Well, as part of a crime analyst position, on an everyday basis, I analyze the crime patterns and trends that occur within the City of Novi. And on a weekly basis, I produce crime maps of where hotspots are of crimes or traffic crashes, and disseminate that to command staff and patrol officers.
Okay. And Sergeant, I know that's kind of consistent with our philosophy of the data-driven decisions. You want to talk a little bit about the DDAX model that we've been utilizing in the Novi Police Department?
Absolutely. DDAX stands for Data-Driven Approaches to Crime and Traffic Safety. What we've been able to find through research is that crimes and crashes often occur in close proximity to one another. So what we're looking at is an operational philosophy where we can take some of the limited resources that we have and assign them to specific hotspot areas in the city. Once we assign those hotspot areas, once Jason is able to determine where those hotspots are, we can assign our personnel more effectively and efficiently. And the DDAX model calls for highly visible traffic enforcement. And with that highly visible traffic enforcement, it will reduce not only the number of crimes, but also the number of traffic crashes.
Outstanding. And if we were to, off the top of your head, a couple of the major spots that we have currently in the City of Novi in terms of those DDAX hotspots.
Sure. Obviously, one of our big areas for traffic crashes is Novi Road and 996. There are thousands and thousands of vehicles that go through that intersection on a daily basis. Plus, with the proximity of the shopping district there, that's where we also see a lot of our property crimes. So that's one hotspot area that's probably obvious to all of your viewers. There are other hotspot areas that Jason's been able to identify, such as the Beck Road and Pontiac Trail area. With thousands of people that live in the apartment complexes, there's going to be thousands of vehicles in that area. Also, the 9 Mile and Haggerty area on the border of Farmington Hills. Again, it's where so many vehicles are utilizing Haggerty Road. That's where we're going to see an increase in our traffic crashes.
And in terms of some of the analysis that you do, Jason, do you take into account some of the traffic counts, the average daily traffic counts where people are going through those areas? Do you factor that into some of your analysis?
Yes, a part of my analysis is the daily traffic counts as well as temporal analysis, or time of day and day of week. I've already analyzed that specific days of the week are heavy in traffic crashes and our specific hotspots, as well as time of day, rush hour times and early morning times for work as well.
And we've been able to adjust our patrols. I know from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. We've seen extensions in our response times over the course of the last 4 years, but in the last 2 years we've been actually able to deploy an additional 2 officers at 6 o'clock in the morning to not only meet those calls for service need, but also address some of the traffic crashes that you're talking about, particularly in those high corridor areas where we're seeing a lot of traffic early in the morning.
Correct.
How about some of the other programs that you're using in terms of putting your stuff together? Because it's not just a computer that spits out information. You're pulling data from several different programs.
Yes.
and entering that. Can you tell us a little bit about what's involved in that?
Yes, there's a lot of different technology sources and data sources that we need to use to create these maps and this information. And starting with the data sources, we have a great records management system that I can pull our incidents and our crash reports to find out where our hotspots are. Our CAD service, our calls for service, are also a data source that we use. Along with that, we have our enforcement data, our arrests, our citations and warnings, our field contacts, things like that help me determine where in our city we are having the most issues. As far as technology sources are concerned, anything from our crime mapping software, our ArcGIS software, or our Clemis Crime View dashboard is something that I use on a day-to-day basis to help map our crashes. For the citizens, this is a unique opportunity for our citizens. We have an account through crimemapping.com, so they can log on and find our agency and look up specific things for their neighborhood or their area as far as traffic crashes or certain crimes. Spreadsheet software like Excel for us to organize the data. Databases such as Microsoft Access or SPSS, which stands for Statistical Package for the Social Sciences, and publishing and presentation software like Microsoft PowerPoint and Microsoft Word to help disseminate and organize the data for meetings or what have you.
Excellent. And we're able to distribute that. You're distributing that to our troops in the field, but also our investigators who are following up on some of these crimes. And you brought up a great point about the Clemis system that we have, because that's just an absolute outstanding partnership that we have with Oakland County. And the Clemis is an acronym for Courts Law Enforcement Management Information System. And I think that's an invaluable aspect, because our men and women are out in the field. They're able to perform a lot of their work and type a lot of their reports from the field, where they don't have to be sitting in the police station, yet they can be out there preventing crime. Sergeant, why don't you talk a little bit about some of the how we disseminate the information and how we share that with our men and women?
Sure. The information that Jason produces for us are not only sent to the sergeants, but also the uniform officers, and keep them aware of hotspot areas in their districts. We also disseminate that information to area jurisdictions, because we understand that crime really has no boundaries. People move from community to community to commit crimes. Jason attends intelligence meetings and networks with other crime analysts from other communities to try to develop more information. And the investigators have really done some excellent work with the information that Jason has produced.
And we share that weekly at our ComStat meetings as well?
Yeah, every Tuesday at our ComStat meeting, we produce not only our crime statistics, but also any analysis that we've been able to draw from those statistics.
Outstanding, a great program. Well, we're going to take a quick break here on Behind the Badge, and we'll be back with Sergeant Kevin Ray and crime analyst Jason Porter. So please stay tuned.
Being a dad can be tough.
No. What do you mean she's not coming?
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
But when you're willing to do anything,
It is I, Cruz Zinklebell. Okay, time for cake.
it's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Welcome back to Behind the Badge. I'm your host, Chief David Molloy, Director of Public Safety for the City of Novi, and we are continued to be joined by Sergeant Kevin Ray and crime analyst Jason Porter. So, Jason, we left off talking a little bit about, we just got into the whole DDAX model and those data-driven decisions. Tell us what the real goal of that program is.
Well, ultimately, DDAX strives to reduce crime and traffic safety while improving quality of life for our citizens using existing department resources. So that's a big key for DDAX.
Okay, and some of the successes that we've had is we've had some great partnerships that we've been able to forge with a lot of our community members. And whether it's providing them with information or following up with them, can you talk real quick about how we've seen success in that area?
Yeah, partnerships and stakeholders are a key integral part of the DDEX model. And several examples of partnerships are Providence Park Hospital, 12 Oaks Mall, City Council, Chamber of Commerce, City Management. All of our partners are big aspects of information sharing and dissemination, and getting them on board will really help get this message across through the city.
Okay, and even above that, we not only distribute this intelligence information and these maps to our own personnel, but we have a contingency of Michigan State Police troopers that also work out of the city of Novi, and I know we have a tendency to share that information with them as well.
Yes, that is correct.
And they can take that, and they're not necessarily providing the day-to-day patrols of the community, but they're actually out there and they're patrolling our roadways when they're going back and forth to the freeways.
Yep.
So I know it was really essential for us during the whole Wixom I-96 shooter that was going on when we were having our patrols strategically placed up and down Wixom Road because it was in such close proximity, along with Grand River Avenue and Beck Road. So, Sergeant, you want to talk real quick about some of the successes we've seen? I know recently the investigators solved a series of thefts from Lifetime Fitness, and a lot of that was based on the DDAX model.
Yeah, based on the information that Jason's been able to produce as far as the hotspot areas, we've been able to change some of the way that we deploy our resources. And just recently, we had a series of thefts from lockers from Lifetime Fitness on Haggerty Road. The patrol officers were able to identify someone, catch someone that was leaving the scene of Lifetime. They were able to tie them into numerous larcenies that occurred inside Lifetime. Through their relentless follow-up and investigation, they were able to determine that this person is also responsible for many home invasions in the area. So we were able to clear a dozen cases.
Yeah, and I know we had about 6 or 7 thefts from there that we were able to clear, but also about another 6 home invasions. And it was interesting. On one day they were committing iPhone thefts. On the next day they were doing home invasions. So I know recently also we've had some success in wrapping up a series of home invasions in the Chase Farm subdivision that were occurring earlier this year and up until mid-spring.
Sure, we had identified a home invasion series that started in November of 2012 and went through February of 2013. The investigators were able to identify someone and arrest someone for 7 home invasions in Chase Farms.
Yeah, and we were just reviewing it at a ComStat meeting a couple days ago where out of all the home invasions that have been reported thus far this year in Novi, half of them have now been cleared through arrest warrants and case closures. So that's a testament not only to the work that you all are producing, but also, like you say, to the outstanding police report that our uniformed officers take on the very initial complaint that they respond to the evidence tech work that's done, whether it's fingerprinting, photographing, collecting evidence. I know on a couple of them we made the gentleman on footwear impressions, and then also to the relentless follow-up and assessment that our investigators are making, the detectives who are investigating these cases.
And those 2 people have been responsible for over half of the home invasions in
Absolutely.
the city of Novi.
And I know a second suspect that was taken in connection to the Lifetime thefts. Our surveillance team actually observed him committing a home invasion, I believe, in Dearborn Heights last week. So again, like you alluded to earlier, this crime really knows no boundaries, and it's important that we have that omnipresence out there and continue to do that.
And that's why it's important that we rely on some of our strategic partnerships, whether it's our own city employees through the Eyes and Ears program, whether it's our DPS workers, or whether it's our fire protection officers or ordnance officers. Really anyone that we can get information from, we will get that information. That's something that we've done for years at the Novi Police Department. Back in 2008, we had a series of home invasions in the Pontiac Trail and Beck Road area in the Portsmouth Apartments. We had investigators out on foot combing the area, and the tip that we got came from the mail carrier. So anyone that we can get information from, the mail carrier, the paper, the newspaper delivery person in the middle of the night, we get that information, we assess that information, and we act on it.
the partnerships that you not only alluded to, but also Jason with our corporate partnerships, but also, like you say, our internal partners, the stakeholders we have in public services and code enforcement and fire services and community development, the Eyes and Ears program, and I think that kind of kicks it to the next level for our community members. If you see something, say something. So many times we respond to home invasions or thefts, and they say, well, I saw a car parked there and it didn't really fit and it wasn't anybody that we knew. And really, if they would have called us, we would have been able to solve that crime.
Sure, and it doesn't even have to be a major crime like a home invasion or a robbery. It could be something like a malicious destruction of property. We had incidents over the last month in the Addington Park and Wintergreen Park subdivisions where we had mailboxes knocked over. We've distributed flyers to the residents, try to obtain information that would lead us toward a potential suspect. So I would encourage all residents, if you see something that's out of the ordinary, give us a call.
Yeah, let us check it out. Let us send a uniformed officer or two out, take a look at it. And if it's nothing, we'll let you know it was nothing. But at the same time, I know about 2 years ago we had a report of a suspicious circumstance behind a party store at 10 Mile and Haggerty, where the lady reported that there was 5 gentlemen in a vehicle parked behind the store. She reported that license plate. A week later, they came back, and she was the victim of a robbery where she was also physically assaulted. And she said it was the same guys that were in that car. And we were able to not only identify, arrest, and convict all 5 individuals based upon the fact that she saw that car sitting out there one day and it didn't fit. And it was someone that she didn't know, it was someone that didn't work in the area or in the complex, and they were ultimately held responsible for that violent action. So a great testimony to give us a call, let us check it out.
Yeah, there is no one that knows the subdivisions better than the people that live in those subdivisions. They know what fits and what doesn't fit, what should be there and what shouldn't be there.
Absolutely. Jason, and in terms of your new position, any new exciting challenges that you see down the road that we can help you accomplish or work on?
DDAX is going to be a huge challenge for me because I have an integral part in it, and I'm excited and ready to work alongside Sergeant Ray and the records department and patrol officers and command staff. So I'm looking forward to it and looking forward to kicking out some good information as well.
Absolutely. And I know you kind of work hand in hand with our GIS department
I do,
through
yes.
our information technology.
Yes.
You have some of the same programs, and you can kind of take a look at some of those same maps and use those in your work as well.
Yes, that is correct. Through ArcGIS, ArcMap, I can plot hotspot maps and also temporal analysis maps to, like I said, find hotspots in our city and be able to pinpoint where we need to put our patrol officers or deploy our resources.
Outstanding. And we appreciate your efforts and thank you for everything you do. Sergeant, thanks for all your service, 20 years with the City of Novi. We'll be interviewing Jason 20 years from now when he's leading our crime analysis unit, and certainly appreciate everything you both do to not only better serve not only the organization but all the community members that we have here in Novi.
Thank you, Chief.
So thank you very much.
much.
And to you, the viewing audience, we appreciate you tuning in to Behind the Badge. And until next time, continue to watch Novi Television.